Okay, welcome to our August 5th regular meeting of Town of Neepawa. I guess our first order of business would be to welcome Councillor Clark to our group.
Thank you.
From there, be it resolved that we hereby approve the regular meeting agenda for August 5th. Moved by Councillor Kosenchuk, seconded by Deputy Mayor Parrott. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Be it resolved that we hereby approve the minutes of the public hearing and the regular meeting held July 8th, 2025 as circulated. Moved by Councillor Gerard, seconded by Deputy Mayor Parrott. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, I guess we'll start off with council reports.
Or, do we have, oh, it's not 7:05, carry on, sorry, my bad.
Okay.
That one was 7:05.
Oh, yes, here, sorry, I didn't see it. Okay, well, we'll have a short council report then. Nobody?
Okay, he's here, let him go.
Okay, you have a long one? Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
I'll try and make it short. I attended the Sayward Committee meeting July 23rd, and the items approved for purchase this year, actually, there's some very good items between the care home and the hospital. The care home is going to be one of the first rural care homes to have a bladder ultrasound for the residents, which will make things so much more or less invasive for them. And the equipment for the hospital will be some obstetrics equipment. And just to let everybody know, we had 200 babies delivered at our hospital last year. So it is quite a busy department, so that equipment is very much needed. The third annual Children's Business Fair is next week, Thursday, August 14th. It will be held at the Yellowhead Hall in conjunction with the Arts Board Farmers Market. Both will be inside at the Yellowhead. This is an opportunity for the community to come out and support these young entrepreneurs. There's some great products that these kids have come up with. It will be from 3 to 6 p.m. next Thursday. The Neepawa program guide from Neepawa Recreation is available online or at the town office. It is a very useful resource filled with a ton of information for as many events happening as possible between now and November 30th. And the other thing, it's been posted on social media. We've sent out to some of the healthcare facilities. I have to get around to the rest of them. But we're going to have a healthcare workers appreciation barbecue that is being put on by the Town of Neepawa staff and council. This is something that we're very excited about. It'll be the first annual healthcare workers barbecue. It will be down at Riverbend Park, Thursday, August 28th. The time will be from 11 to 2 p.m. The lunch will be free for all healthcare workers as our way of showing gratitude for everything you do. For non-healthcare working community members, meals will be $5, but we encourage everybody to come down and support the healthcare workers. For those healthcare workers that are unable to attend due to their shifts that day, we will be delivering barbecue lunches. So the facilities all have forms where they can sign up and let us know how many. This is sponsored by the Town of Neepawa, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Neepawa Safeway, and High Life. So.
Okay, Andrew, I don't know if you might as well move up to the table here. And Andrew is the area commander for Spruce Plains RCMP.
Hello.
Welcome.
Invite. I'm just going to pass this around. I don't mind taking one, passing it around. This is the hot seat. Camera will get my good side. So what's just going around there is the crime statistics report for just the month of July, and also the mayor's report just for the month of July. My primary objective today, if I may continue, is just to introduce myself. My name is Andrew Cowan. I moved into the area as of the end of May of this year. I've taken over from my predecessors, Colby Argue, and previous to that, Mark Morehouse. I was posted here in Neepawa during Mark's tenure, so candidly, I think I've got the height covered, but I do have the big shoes to fill. And I share this joke with Mark, so we both have a great chuckle there. But on a serious note, I do have a big shoes to fill for Mark and Colby. I know they've been great for the area, and I'm hoping to take on that stride. So again, I just moved in May 26th of this year, so I'm slowly getting around to all the councils, RMs, just to introduce myself, and just basically wanted to hear from council, at least for now, if there's any comments, questions, concerns that you may have that I can bring forward to my table and either question the members at Neepawa, Minnedosa area, or to my district commanders, either for the West District or for the division. So subject to any questions, I don't know if you'd like me to go over the stats reports for July. It's pretty thin, self-explanatory. I can do that if you'd like. But I'd just like to, again, open the floor if you have any questions that I can address now or bring back.
Well, maybe even just give us a little bit of highlights, like, you know, is crime increasing, decreasing, how are things, where do you see things?
Well, crime right now is status quo. It is slowly increasing to a slight degree. Rural property crimes, yes, are our main focus point right now. We did have an incident about a month and a bit ago in the Westlake Gladstone area that I'm sure caught some media coverage there of essentially a home invasion that could have gone a lot worse. However, it didn't. There was no reported injuries. So yes, rural crime is a focal point for our detachment area. We are looking at re-examining our shift schedules to see how we as the RCMP can balance our shifting to target the issues that are going on in the rural side of things. For Neepawa specifically, we are well aware of the traffic complaints. We're no stranger to that. We are trying to get out there and be as visible as possible, mostly on a proactive basis. With that being said, there are some avenues that I am exploring right now that I can get additional resources into the area to help address that concern that has been brought forward, specifically through Manitoba Public Insurance, overtime call-outs to other membership in the area. But again, we are aware of the traffic concerns, fully aware of the e-scooter issue that is going on. I think we're just kind of waiting for the Highway Traffic Act to catch up to the times so that we have, on the enforcement side of things, an ability to issue citations if that is the case. But biggest thing for us as well is proactive public awareness, kind of the do's, the don'ts for our members of the community on where they should be riding those e-scooters and where they shouldn't be riding them, and obviously exercising due care to the fellow citizens who are utilizing the sidewalks and so forth. So again, another topic that we are fully aware of, that we're working to address. Staffing levels for Spruce Plains, we are down 3 members. We will be having 1 member leaving by the end of this month. However, we will be absorbing a member from the north, so it will balance itself out. But with that balance, we still remain 3 members short for the area. Me personally, I have a great track record of bringing people in, kind of had a great track record of taking people out. Sorry, back in 2018, I did take 2 members with me, but I think that speaks volumes, at least on my leadership and my ability to work with the membership here. So I can assure you, Town Council and the RMs, that on a local level, beyond just a provincial and a federal level, I will do my part to attract the membership into the community here. Neepawa, Minnedosa have great opportunities for families, especially for the RCMP. So that should be an easy sell for some of the members that I'm going to try and communicate with, for sure. Subject to any questions you may ever have.
One complaint that we hear quite a bit is traffic speeding through town on the highway there.
Now we're talking about through Highway 16. Okay.
Yeah. Any more opportunities there to watch for that?
Absolutely, there's always opportunities. And for Spruce Plains in general, we're very fortunate to have Westman Traffic Services that is hubbed out of the Minnedosa detachment. So on top of your general duty detachment members that are for Spruce Plains in general, we have an additional resources that we can tap into as well. So if that's an ongoing issue for speeding through the main area of Neepawa, I take that, I receive it, and I will forward that on to our traffic services members so that we can spend a little more time for proactive and reactive enforcement, absolutely. Yeah.
Overall with recruiting, are you finding there's going to be an opportunity for that to improve down the road?
I'm hoping so. It's not just Manitoba in general, it's more, the staffing shortages are across the board. No matter what police agency you go to, it is across the board. It's, for all intents and purposes, policing is not, and it never really was, but not much of a lucrative opportunity to engage in. But that being said, it is incumbent on the communities that help boast that ability for recruiting. And again, Neepawa is fabulous opportunity for members who are exploring the RCMP as a route for sure to attract members in this area. So it's a struggle. Long story short, it is a struggle, but our recruiting we have seen on a divisional and federal level has increased. Now it's up to our counterparts in Depot Division in Ottawa to start screening those applicants and getting them pushed through into our academy and out the front doors to the respective communities. Absolutely. Yeah.
Any other questions?
The admin staff position over there that was to go to provincial, where are you at with that right now?
So I walked into that, my understanding, strong understanding, is that it has been approved on the OSB side of things. That's the operational strategy branch of the RCMP. They've approved the business case that was submitted for that position. Now my understanding is that we're waiting for the province of Manitoba to either say yea or nay. To create the position. And if that position was approved, it would be a full-time position.
So is that posing you problems right now with Sabrina now taking a different angle out of the administration side?
Well, we are short the one member that was occupying that temporary position. She has relocated to another job opportunity. I don't forecast if Sabrina was to onwards and upwards to another direction. I don't forecast our office running short. I have been exploring other members who are on contract basis to fulfill that void for the time being, and we'll have to cross that bridge when we get down the road again, where Sabrina ends up on acceptance or not, and then the posting. But again, when we talk about towns, Neepawa has a lot to offer. Yeah. So I don't see that position, if it was to become vacant, staying vacant for very long.
No, it's just, like I say, the time period it takes to get all the clearances. So even to add casual labor over there, like it's really not the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the long-term answer, but certainly I hope it doesn't get to that point. But it should, I should not have no issues in the interim if we were to cross that path. Yeah. Service delivery will maintain status quo. We're not going to drop on the town by any means. The other big thing for me as a member myself, again bringing forward from Mark Morehouse's era, is visibility. I am doing my best. I have lots to go around, but you should see me. I've been doing some foot patrols down to the community business area, and my objective is to go into every business and simply just put a face to the name. And sometimes the information may not get to your table, may not get to our table. So my walk in and out is just, hi, I'm so-and-so. You got anything for me? And if you don't, have a wonderful day. We'll see you, next week or the week after. So that's one of my big things, is the public enhancing the visibility of the police, as well as transparency. I encourage, if there's any issues with my members for Spruce Plains, that the members of the public or council come forward. Transparency and accountability is huge. I'm sure council and the community is aware. All of our officers in Spruce Plains are equipped with body-worn cameras now, so that gives both sides of a story, as opposed to an objective one side, that if we do have a concern with our members, we'll be able to view the whole scope, a global scope of what's going on. So just to reassure all members in Spruce Plains with body cameras.
Okay, anything else from anyone? If not, thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk to the next meeting. Thank you very much, and I'm not going anywhere. Not for a very long time, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Okay, just going back, council reports, anyone else have any council reports?
Oh, we can do a little. So we have a new doctor starting on August 18th. So that's Dr. Elisha, and we were expecting him. And we have our recruitment and retention August 26th at noon. And I guess, yeah, in September, we're doing a residency kind of retreat thing in Brandon, where we'll be promoting Neepawa with our wonderful memory sticks of knowledge.
Yes, working on the video.
How are they coming?
All the videos are done, it's just being edited by
Okay.
Cass, so we're hoping to see it next week.
So what it is, we're handing out these USBs full of Neepawa information to all these residency doctors. So would you make over 100 of them or something like
I
that?
haven't, what'll
Once the video is done,
Yeah.
then we'll load everything
Yeah.
onto the USBs at once.
Okay.
And the video, I'm very excited to see it. It's just, we're selling Neepawa. There's so much here that we can sell in everything that we have to offer here, so, yeah.
Probably wasn't supposed to tell that, but anyway.
Selling Neepawa? That's no secret.
All right, if there's no one else, manager of operations, Denise.
Thank you, Mayor Headley. So quick updates. I know I've talked in the past, almost 6 months to a year ago, probably about the little wells and lagoon project. So both of those are still ongoing. They're not at completion level yet. The wells, there's some hiccups just out that well casing, so they're still trying to source that out and determine what corrective action they have to get in play on that one. But a lot of it's coming together now. Lagoons are still through a commissioning stage. So they're still, like I said, because it's new technology, different style, different climate that hasn't really been done here. They're still working on that project as well. There's some other recommendations they're going to proceed with. There's some other stuff that between the town and our consultants that we want to try personally to see if it alleviates some of the issues on site as well. So there's a few different techniques we want to try. That being said, it is working. We just want to make it work better. So we're just at the stage of better. Hamilton Street, out by the hospital, that portion of Hamilton Street. Road construction's ongoing there. So like I said, that was awarded out to Zenith Paving. So road construction's well underway. They're working pretty good on that one. I think I've taken some of you to sites. I've also forwarded maybe some of the site reports to the infrastructure committee. So you've seen that stuff. Road 2, we've opted to tender that one out, so we'll be approving that tonight, hopefully. Isabel Street, our contractor had completed the curb work, or the base prep, the curb work, and the paving last week. Staff were doing backfill behind the curb work, so we'll get some of the interim boulevard landscaping done just to ensure there's no erosion around that project. That same contractor also did some of our paving and patchwork around the community. For the residents, I think that's all I'm doing. Don't worry, there is more. Some of the patches actually were too big for the patching crew, so they'll be coming in with the street crew, and we'll be doing some additional paving sections away. We have other contractors. We have multiple pavers coming in, unfortunately. That's what makes this year a little difficult. So we have 2 separate paving contractors. Another contractor should be rolling into town, give or take a week or 2, depending on how their other projects are proceeding, if they have any weather delays. So that ties into the portion of Mill Street that everyone hates so much. The drainage was completed on that one by town staff, and that one, like I said, we'll start full reconstruction of that surface work there. So it will be a pretty street when we're done with it. We've also been doing a lot of concrete work. We've been picking away around town, so we've done a number of curb repairs, sidewalk repairs, new sidewalk extensions, and again, there still is more planned. These contractors have to go do actual real private work too. I can't hog them the entire year. Otherwise people will be a little upset. And then there's more infrastructure stuff that's just in the planning design stage, so we're still working on that stuff. So.
Good. Good, it sounds like gonna be a lot of activity around town here, so that'll be good.
That's expensive.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think everybody has to remember that we used to have no paved streets at one time and people were just fine. So this, having anything is a bonus.
Rode a horse.
I was just gonna say that we also rode horses.
We still find the horseshoes and we fix the streets.
So what's wrong with horses?
We will be seeing a patching crews come back in to replace what wasn't done in May, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, the sticker's coming back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Denny. So we'll look at correspondence, Colleen.
We just have the one thing, it was a letter of concern that we received from Harris Pharmacy. And, I'll just quickly read it. If I can find it, sorry. It's that long weekend just throws a wrench into everything, and then it was away all day, so. Yeah, that would be great, thank you, people. I'll find it as soon as I'm done here. So we're ready to bring attention to a concern we have as a new business owner in the community. It has been brought to our attention that the town plans to construct a fence around the municipal lot they own located directly behind our business at 366 Mountain Avenue. So just to be clear for everybody listening, this is the lot north of the training center. And when we built the training center, the ability to get training in there and work with the Assiniboine Community College, part of the criteria, it was mandatory that we provide sufficient spacing for students to get training there. So we had to make sure that we secured that space for those students. And we need to continue to do so into the future. We can't just let it be filled up with, other people parking there, because we don't want to risk having ACC withdraw funding, or the province withdraw funding, or them not bringing training here. So we have to be very careful with that. So they do not have objection to the restriction of parking from their staff and customers on the lot. They understand that. But they fully respect the town's ownership and have consistently adhered to the current barricades in place, ensuring that neither they nor their customers utilize or obstruct the lot. The proposed fencing that we were talking about, though, based on the markings and barricades that became visible on site, and this is linked as well to the Mill Street paving, where we want to provide a very clear and defined access to the back lane there as part of this project of paving that piece of Mill Street. It raises concerns for them. The installation of the fence in its indicated location would prevent semi-trailers from accessing the rear entrances to the businesses along that block. Furthermore, essential municipal services such as garbage pickup and snow removal would be severely hindered. Of even greater concern is the potential obstruction of emergency vehicle access, most specifically to fire trucks, because it is a fire lane, and it would pose a serious safety risk. If a fence is to be constructed, they just ask that the placement be reconsidered. We respectfully ask that the town reevaluate this proposed fencing plan. We encourage you to look at the lot in question and hope that their concerns will be taken into consideration. So I would maybe just add, we did visit the site earlier prior to our council meeting, and I would leave it to council to provide any additional information.
Okay. That was it for correspondence?
That was the only letter I
Okay.
received.
Okay, I guess we'll move on to finance. And for July accounts, be it resolved that we approve the July 2025 list of accounts totaling $1,119,837.06 as reviewed and representing EFT 1125 to 1301 and check 2025-000-515 and 2025-000-605, but excluding 2025-000-537 and 2025-000-582. Moved by Councillor Gerard, seconded by Councillor Clark. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
I'm going to remove myself from this next item.
Okay, Councillor Gerard and myself remove ourselves.
Okay, be it resolved that we approve check 2025-000537 And 2025-000582 for July 2025 to Home Hardware and Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, totaling $9,475.86. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Kosanchuk. All those in favor? That's carried.
Oh, okay, and we've got one more thing in finances. We've all been given the June financial statements to review. So be it resolved that we approve the financial statement for the month ended June 30th, 2025. Moved by Councillor Sisley, seconded by Deputy Mayor Parrott. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Colleen, signing authorities.
So signing authorities for 2025, we didn't pick up on this, but Jody Baker was given signing authorities and she has since retired. So we need to replace that name and do another resolution and get it over to the bank. And so we've chosen to insert Kara Sylvester in replacement for Jody Baker.
Okay. Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Neepawa amend the signing authorities for 2025 by replacing Jody Baker, who has retired, with Kara Sylvester. Moved by Councillor Gerard, seconded by Councillor Kosanchuk. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Recovery.
So this next resolution is to add to tax base some unpaid amounts and some enforcement expenses. So in particular, we've been doing quite a bit of enforcement around town. We have 4 particular properties that we have had to actually go on site and remove stuff from yards and clean them up. Another one we had to board up on the request of the RCMP because there was people going in and squatting. It was a vacant house. And then another particular one, they wouldn't deal with their weeds, so we sprayed them, and so there's 4 accounts, we're billing them for all these services and adding it to taxes.
Okay, any questions or comments? If not, whereas it was necessary for the town of Neepawa to take action to enforce property standards under bylaw 3166-16 and 3165-16, and whereas section 252 of the Municipal Act authorizes a municipality to collect debts in the same manner as a tax may be collected and enforced under the Act, with the attached list. Moved by Councillor Kosanchuk, seconded by Councillor Gerard. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. New business, Colleen.
This is the provincial nominee program. This is a partnership opportunity. We actually had an individual come up from Brandon, and maybe I'll let our EDO speak a little bit more to it, or I can if you shoot first. This is your agreement to participate in that partnership, and Marilyn has anything.
So Brandon has a special agreement for a provincial nominee program, which also allows Neepawa to access the support of Brandon Economic Development staff. So this would allow Neepawa employers to access provincial nominee program for skilled vacancies that are hard to fill in Neepawa. This partnership is a 2-year agreement that allows us to cooperate between Brandon Economic Development and the employers in Neepawa to help fill those positions that they've had difficulty filling.
Okay, any questions?
If I can comment too, what I found very interesting about this was the amount of red tape that then we don't have to deal, or the employers don't have to deal with it, that they look after all of that for them and make it a lot easier, so.
Okay, the resolution reads, be it resolved that the town of Neepawa enter into a partnership with the city of Brandon through the Brandon, Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program Immigration Initiative to execute a strategy to attract skilled immigrants to Neepawa to assist local employers in filling vacant positions over the next 2 years. Funding in the amount of $3,300 is to be allocated to support this partnership initiative. Moved by Councillor Sisley, seconded by Councillor Clark. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Business retention, Colleen?
So this is also economic development, but very quickly, Marilyn had gone through the program results that we received, very extremely positive results. And I'm gonna assume she's gonna give a little view for the public, but this resolution, when it's time to vote on it, will legitimize the results that we received and be very effective for Marilyn as she goes forward with actually taking those results and working with the businesses around here. So.
It'll just be a minute while I set up. So in the month, the end of the month of May into June, Deloitte did a business retention and expansion survey to Neepawa businesses, and this is the final report with results from that study. So to start, the objectives of this project were to engage the businesses to find out where there was retention and expansion opportunities, to gauge business attitudes and perceptions around operating a business in town, and to understand how best to support local businesses in the town of Neepawa. So Deloitte did this through a random sampling using telephone and email. 79 businesses responded. They considered this a 20% survey response rate, which is very high in market research industry. This scientific approach then ensures that the results are highly accurate. They're saying 95% confidence level and statistically represents the business community in Neepawa. I will say too that part of the survey included, the survey results included me receiving all of the raw data. So every answer that every business made, I have it all in an Excel spreadsheet. However, businesses had the option to not have their name attached to their answers. So there are some businesses that responded to the survey but didn't let their name be identified. So first of all, the firmographics, they call them. So in general, who were the businesses that were surveyed? 71%, oh wait, went too far. Nope, my page is wrong. 81% of the businesses were locally owned and operated. 19% were externally owned and operated. 97% were location-based, 3% were home-based. And of those home-based businesses, all of them were registered with the province. As far as number of employees, the majority of businesses in Neepawa have between 2 and 20 full-time and part-time employees. So as far as property ownership goes, 71% own their own property, 25% rent. So from that then, those that rent, they asked how long their lease terms were. Majority have 1-year terms of lease for their current commercial property. Then they also asked when their lease expired. So there were 10% who responded that they had less than a year left on their lease, which then I know that information, so I can contact those businesses to see if they need help in finding a new space or if they're just gonna renew where they're at. So, and then business performance. So the first set of questions was, over the past 12 months, did the total number of employees in your company decrease, remain the same, or increase? So 65% of our businesses maintained status quo in their employees, and 27% increased their number of employees, which is a really stable situation, but also the fact that when they were asked what they expected in the next 12 months, those numbers stayed very close to the same. So that means stable employment numbers in our businesses. They were asked the same type of question for revenue. So over the past 12 months, did your revenue decrease, remain the same, or increase? And the majority, 49%, said that their revenue remained stable. Then they asked what they expected for a change in revenue in the next 12 months. And this was really great. 54% of our businesses expected their revenue to increase in the next 12 months, which is a very positive thing. So then Deloitte takes those numbers, the more negative, the same, more positive from these sets of questions, and Neepawa came out at a net positive 29%. So there is more people with more positive, so the 37%, than in the more negative, which was only 8%, which nets out to 29% net positive in their business performance in Neepawa. So Deloitte takes this information and creates what they call a business performance metric. They take all of that data and trends, and so it shows an overall directional picture of the business climate in Neepawa. We would like to see a community to be at least have a stable business climate, and Neepawa is positive 5.4, which shows an overall increasing trend in business performance. Then Deloitte also does what they call a net promoter score. So what this is asking the businesses is the level to which they agree or disagree with this following statement. I would recommend this town to another business looking to expand or relocate. And Neepawa businesses responded 42% somewhat agree, 52% strongly agree, creating a 94% positive response to this question. What this means is those that strongly agree, Deloitte considers those promoters. So those are people who will actively promote Neepawa as a place to do business. And 42% they call passive, but still they are neutral, they're not saying negative things. And the detractors in Neepawa is 6%, so businesses with a negative opinion. So once again, they take this information and they put it into a scale that says that the net promoter score for Neepawa is 46%. So this is a very positive response for this series of questions. So then we delve a little deeper. Deloitte asked very specific areas of satisfaction for various factors that businesses have to various ways that businesses interact with the town. So we take that overall satisfaction, but then we break it down by specific tasks. So are you happy with the internet? Are you happy? Do you see business-friendly policies and regulations from the town? These had our most positive responses. And not far behind that, opportunity to expand to new markets. There's real positive opportunities for that in Neepawa. And the businesses are also happy with the marketing efforts to promote the town. Also, still sitting at 80% is the quality of local products and services to meet business supply needs and the ability to source products and services for your business. The development and building permit process got very positive response as well at 78%. And then down from there, I mean, we're at 73% now, availability of unskilled labor and ability to retain employees in the area. So these are quite positive numbers when you look at the breadth of topics that are covered by these different factors. So then Deloitte takes that and creates a priority matrix. So based on those specific responses, they prioritize them using what is the level of importance overall to our community, how the businesses responded, and they also set it all into a priority, which gives them a priority ranking. So I'm happy to report that the top 5 things are the top 5 things that council has seen as priorities as well, which is really great to see. So the number 1 priority ranked adequate housing, number 2, childcare for staff, number 3, availability of post-secondary programming that aligns with business needs, number 5, availability of health and medical services, number 4, number 5, availability of property for purchase or lease. So this affirms the work that Neepawa has been doing and also shows that these are the things that with continued effort will actually increase our satisfaction levels for business in town. Then they give us a community health index. So they take the answers from this business survey and they have what they call a proprietary business community health index. And based on the answers, they create this chart. So each of the lines on this chart is an individual business that responded to the survey. And they track all of that. They say that the national 5-year average business health score is 757, and Neepawa scored 792. So what this means is that we have outperformed the provincial average with regards to businesses' changes in attitudes, community recommendation, and on factors related to business supports, policies, and incentives. We did not score lower than the national average, on any subscore of this health index, but scored similar to average on workforce attraction, retention, and historical changes in revenues. So I did ask them, they said that they've only ever had one community score over 800 on this, and so I think that Neepawa is well placed based on this index that they've created. Future plans. Businesses were then asked, within the next 24 months, do you plan on expanding, implementing a succession plan, downsizing, selling, closing, or relocating? So 17 businesses said that they have expansion plans. 6 of those are within the next 6 months. That's a very positive response to the health of our businesses. We have 6 businesses that are looking at implementing a succession plan, 1 downsizing, 1 selling, and I'm happy to report we have no closing and no relocating businesses in Neepawa. And I will say, as part of that raw data that I have access to, I know which of these businesses are the ones that are expanding and implementing succession plan. It just gives me the opportunity to reach out to them and see if there's anything I can do from my office to make that successful. Triage flags. So throughout the survey process, triage cases that represented red or green flags were tracked. Out of the 79 businesses surveyed, 27 businesses presented an opportunity for intervention by economic development. So the green flags, respondents were considering expanding their businesses within the next 24 months. So there's 17 businesses that I have opportunity to have that direct conversation with. Red flags were also marked in the raw data that I received. So anyone who is considering relocating, downsizing, or a business whose lease expires in less than a year, I have that information so that I can support them. Communication. So they did a question around business community contact. The question says, I know who to reach out to at the town if I'm looking for support growing my business or navigating other business concerns. 49% strongly agreed and 36% somewhat agreed with this statement. Deloitte, so that's a total of 84%. Deloitte said their average communities, typically that number is between 50 and 60% of the people know who to reach out to. So that's good news. And I also know, so the 3% that strongly disagree and 13% that somewhat disagree, I have those businesses, I've already reached out to them and introduced myself. So the conclusions for this report. So business community satisfaction, the businesses operating within Neepawa are highly content with this area as a place to conduct their operations with a 94% satisfaction rate. High scores in these metrics have a strong impact on the overall satisfaction scores of the local business community and are excellent indicators of a healthy community economy. Top priorities that came out of this report: availability of adequate housing, availability of childcare, and availability of post-secondary programming. Overall business community recommendations. So what the businesses are telling us is that as we work on those top items in the priority matrix, and we will see where improvements can be made, it will improve overall satisfaction looking forward. And at the individual business level, I will be continuing to do follow-up on the red and green triage flags, the higher low business community health index scores, and obviously businesses who are unsure of who to reach out to with concerns in Neepawa.
Okay, thanks, Marilyn. That was, and thanks for getting involved with doing that study. That's very informative. And there again, like just the fact that you're reaching out to businesses, it's a great job.
Thank you. Yep, my plan would be that this is not a one-off thing. We can't necessarily afford to hire Deloitte, get a grant to do this work. But there are other ways that we can meet with businesses, do a walkabout maybe next spring to see, ask similar questions and just continue to keep an eye on our businesses.
All right, very good. Okay, so we have a motion on this. Be it resolved that we hereby adopt the business retention and expansion report as presented by Deloitte. And further, be it resolved that the recommendations outlined in the report be used as a guide to guide economic development and initiatives and strategic efforts within the town of Neepawa. So moved by Councillor Sisley, seconded by Deputy Mayor Parrott. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so then we have, it's time to put somebody to work. So we have a resolution here. Be it resolved that Councillor Clark assume responsibility for all the committee appointments previously assigned to Councillor Pottinger for 24-25. Moved by Deputy Mayor Parrott, seconded by Councillor Kostenchuk. All in favor? Opposed? Oh, even Dave wasn't opposed. Okay. Carried.
He doesn't know what he's in for.
7 a.m. Thursday.
So maybe just so the public knows, because we do read these out at our November meeting, we'll be doing another round in November, but for the period now until that time, he will be a member on the General Government and Finance Committee, he will be the chair of the Protection Community Service Committee, he will be a member on the Recreation and Economic Development Committee, and he will sit as a member at the Ellicott Center Board.
Okay, Lisa's at the airport calling.
So we've been in the process of renegotiating leases at the airport that have expired, and just a quick summary. We're going to renew all those. The structure that we own will be $175 a month to Mr. Dennis, and all of the other ones, and they're in the resolution, so I won't name them all right now, will be at 55 cents a square foot. The one we have not completed would be Western Canadian area. A little different scenario there, but we're trying to make sure we flesh that out with our legal team to make sure we outline that and get that negotiated a little bit differently.
Okay, any questions, comments? Be it resolved that we approve entering into lease agreements with Nelson Elmy, Hangar 210, Doug Miller, LD Moyer, Riordan Dennis, Gary Bate, Bob Weaver, starting at a rate of 55 cents per square foot for the 5-year period from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. Be it further resolved that Hangar 224 owned by the town of Neepawa continue under the terms of the 5-year lease to Riordan Dennis for the period of January 1st to December 31st, 2029 at a rate of $175 per month. Moved by Councillor Gerard, seconded by Councillor Clark. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Denis, road work?
Yeah, so this is a portion of road that we refer to as Road 2 within the periphery of the hospital. So this is a north-south portion, departing north from Hampton Street. A couple weeks ago, I did an invitational tender request. Went out to 5 separate local parties, 4 of whom decided to bid on the project. And Colleen has the summary of the numbers right there for you. So this is only to a gravel road stage. So it'd be the excavation and then replacement of all the aggregates and layering up as SPC's our consultant's plan. No boulevard, no grading on the boulevard itself. We found as the lane serve product right now that we are actually finding great places to waste all the material because of the ups and the downs and the highs and lows we've created for the drainage. So we've been saving on hauling. So I think we'll have the same consequence with this next portion on Road 2. So it'll be set to a gravel stage, and then as work progresses, possibly in 26 or 27, we'll consider paving at that point.
So there were 4 bids on this particular project. We're recommending the acceptance of low bid at $78,084 plus tax.
Okay. Any questions? Be it resolved that we accept the tender of Adam Kite Excavation in the amount of $78,084 plus tax to complete the construction of the north-south road on the west periphery of the new hospital, 341415. Moved by Deputy Mayor Parrott, seconded by Councillor Kostenchuk. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. The remuneration point?
So I won't get into the details there. I don't think the public cares if we change a few words in our collective agreement. But our collective agreement for the unionized employees actually expired December 31st of 2024. If council will recall, back in 2017, we set the premise for how we remunerated staff across all employees, whether union or not. Our goal was to say that we didn't treat any employee any different here, union or not, and everybody gets measured the same. So a classification of positions was drawn up, a structure for rate pay based on a scale of increments and steps where you gain merit points until you reached your max. And that's what we've worked successfully through for the last 2 4-year periods. So we use the union negotiations to set the premise of how all staff technically get measured. And then I take into account, the non-union staff and what the needs would be and make sure we make market. So for the last 4 periods that expired, we all know that COVID happened. We all know that minimum wage went from $11.90 in 2021, and at present is $15.80, going to $16 by October. So that's roughly a $4 change. So as much as we can't give $4 across the board to recognize the change in minimum wage, what we agreed to was a market adjustment that was a $2.08 adjustment in 2024, retro to January 1. And then the ability to gain a year on our contract negotiations and run a 5-year contract now instead of 4. The next 4 years after that will be a 2.25% increase over time. And when you look at what we agreed to, and the HR committee did talk about whether this was reasonable or not, I took into account the market in the municipal world and what each position would be getting paid. We were actually in 2021 sitting at about 2/3 of the way into market on the scale. Some were at the 75th percentile and positioned quite well for a community our size. We since then have grown substantially. The things we do here have started to differ and evolved insofar as responsibility and duties. And when I looked at the market this time, the best information that was available, because the salary survey out of AMM is actually dated 2023, they only do it once every 2 years now. And you extrapolate the fact that you make the assumption everybody got 3% increase over the last few years to set my position for where I looked at market. I found that all of the positions in Neepawa, right from the bottom end up, were actually starting to position lower than what you would expect for a community this size in the province of Manitoba. So when we discussed that, we thought the ask was fair. In return from the union, we got agreement to settle any disparity and we might have had over on-call and standby pay. We got clarification in the agreement on many things, and that data is here for council to read. So bottom line is we went with $2.08 adjustment to bring us. We're not at 75th percentile anymore, but we are positioned still fairly reasonable within the scope of where we should be in the province of Manitoba. And that brought, of course, our bottom line of people that were, technically should have been slotted for $14.92, and should be now at $15.80. So it's part of our recruitment efforts as well. So they are positioned a little bit better. We always get questions from the pool staff. They also are. I did an analysis of looking at around us, looking at Brandon, different places. As much as we still get complaints they're not paid appropriately, they are well positioned within relation to other communities. And I think it was a fair shake at the end, so we're looking for you to ratify the agreement. The union did it on July 18th, seemed quite pleased. It was a very efficient and effective union negotiation, and it went quite smoothly, really.
Okay, any questions?
I just comment that that there was good give and take on behalf of us, the employer, and the union as well. So it is not a one-sided agreement by any means. They definitely came to the table to bargain in good faith, and I really appreciate the union members for working the way they did with us.
Okay, so the resolution reads, be it resolved that upon receipt and validation of all terms negotiated as part of the collective bargaining for period January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2029, the Council of the Town of Neepawa authorizes the mayor and CAO to sign the agreements with QP Local 1735-01. Be further resolved that pay rates so negotiated shall also apply to all non-unionized employees, taking into consideration any special adjustments to certain positions, classifications, or ranges to ensure a fair and equitable pay structure. Moved by Councillor Gerard, seconded by Councillor Sisley. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Any other business? Seeing none, be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Neepawa do now adjourn this regular meeting at 8 p.m. Moved by Councillor Kostenchuk, seconded by Councillor Clark. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.